Hi everyone, my name's Electric Donkey, and today we are back on the No Man's Sky rebuilding kind of project. So, as you can see, this isn't what we did in the last video. In the last video we made a load of, if I do say so myself, pretty rubbish sprites. But, in between episodes, I've been busy away making stuff. Also, I forgot, remember to check out Discord. I'll leave a link in the description and, as always, in the channel thing. Anyway, back to No Man's Sky. We have currently two options. So, I've fiddled around and made this kind of little planet sort of thing using box 2D physics that's built into GameMaker, and also RM2K dev's little planet thing that he did. In the meantime, though, this isn't actually working, which is kind of worrying, actually. Let's go see what's not working here at the minute. I've probably changed something or commented something out at some point, and it's not worked properly. I will go through this in a minute. But basically, my options are, we can either, okay, so, that should be working. Let's go try it again. It was working earlier, so it should be working now. But anyway, the two options we currently have is we can use this little engine thing that I've built here, which will work relatively similar to No Man's Sky, and we'll use random generation on the planets themselves. Or we can do a kind of more Starbound-y kind of theme, and if you haven't played Starbound, or let's think of like Terraria, it's, or Minecraft, or whatever. I know exactly what's going wrong here. Hang on a minute. We can either have these planets, or we can have just a flat ground, sort of still a planet technically, but just more flat. And we'll still be able to crash and all that jazz, but it just wouldn't be as much of a planet with gravity as such. So actually we need to just comment this bit out. This is what I was using just to test some stuff, but I will probably refine this in between episodes a bit more, just get this sorted, but the fundamentals is really, really simple, and it means we can actually use the physics and everything. We might have to change the physics later, but I don't really know much about physics at the moment. I just learnt them. So let's see, now it should work in theory. It's really, really laggy because it's currently really, really unoptimized. So as you can see, we can kind of float around this planet. There is some resistance, so if I kind of float off over here, right, and then I'm gonna let go of my keyboard. I'm not touching my keyboard. We get pulled back into this planet, which is kind of cool. We can go around the planet. We can go all over the place, and we can also add if things, so we can't just fly straight out of the planet like we just did there. So we have to have a spaceship realistically to actually get out of there. I don't know where we've gone there. We've floated off into the atmosphere. So that's one option, and then if I actually come and show you the rooms, room, all these, well actually in this case it's just one big one, but what we can do is we could just piece these together with loads of little blocks, and we can make these however big we want, and all that's controlling the gravity, if I show you, we'll just get rid of that, is a little object called object center, and that determines the center of the object, and we can use that randomly generated, and that's where the gravity comes in. I'm not actually 100% certain that that's actually being used at the moment. I think I might have changed it at some point. Oh no, object center. Well, who knows? But basically, how this code works is it's some really simple sprites. The dirt rounded and the round are just random testing sprites. It's just sprite dirt, sprite player, sprite dot, and then I've just had object round. That's just a testing one. I then had object dirt, object player, object center. The dirt actually just has a collision and it's got nothing in there just so it doesn't delete the collision. And this is just simple box 2D physics. So if you don't know what these means, I will fully go through it when you actually choose it. If we choose it. If not, I think I'll just make my own decision. But if you specifically want to see one of them, one or the other, yeah, comment that below definitely. So just how this works is just collision, density 0, so it doesn't move. It's collision there, so when it collides, it's a solid object. In the object player, however, we've just got some really simple variable. Well, actually, we don't have any variables for that matter. Movement, really simple. We actually had a load of stuff here. I was using for the direction and stuff, but we don't need that really. So we just adding an impulse, which is just a movement, a fancy word for movement. You know, you might be shouting at me now and saying, why don't you use forces and local forces and stuff? I've fiddled around, impulse works the best. It's just how it is in this case. Anyway, that's how the movement works. Now the gravity. The gravity, I think you can actually just search really easily. If you just search like planet gravity or something, it's literally exactly that, and it's on RM2K Devs kind of website thing. All it is, with our center object, which determines the center of the planet, distance equals the point of the distance between us and the planet, the center of the planet. The direction is the direction from us and the planet. If the distance is less than 500, we are going to place our dx. I don't actually know what length d is. I think it's the length of the direction. Okay, so it just works out a really simple kind of how long it is. So if this is our length, this is our direction, that's going to be our x, that's going to be our y. Okay, simple. So it's just going to set that to those points. You can go and check that out if you want to. I probably will afterwards. Otherwise, it's going to check it back to 0. And then with the player, we're going to apply a force of our x, our y, and then we're going to apply an x force and a y force. So these can typically just be numbers. In this case, I've used the dx and dy variables that we set here. It's kind of complicated, not too complicated if you've done much in box 2D physics before, but that is literally it for the planets. So really simple one, but more complicated if you don't know about box 2D physics. But on the other hand, we can have the starbound one, which is rather similar to the other series. We're going to add spaceships and all that sort of more No Man's Sky kind of look to it. So guys, I know we haven't actually done literally anything today, but I've given you an option, so this will now lead on for the whole of the next of the videos, the series, all of that sort of stuff. So make your decision. If you want to see this kind of style with the actual planets, comment that below. If you want to see the one with the flat planets, so just right along the ground, then comment that below as well. But either one you do, remember to like, subscribe, and also check out my Discord channel. There is quite a lot going on there, including quite a lot of helpful information. And also I'll be posting stuff on there, like if I find a deal on a game, or a deal on GameMaker or something, I'll post that on there so you get all the best deals and what have you. Anyway, for the time being guys, that's going to be it. I've pretty much said my outro already, So I'll talk to you later.